So, there's a discussion in the Midrash and in the Ein Yaakov. What is the most important pasuk in the Torah? What is the most important pasuk in the Torah? What do you think is the most important pasuk in the Torah? So I'll tell you what. The sages and Ben Nanas, not bananas, Ben Nanas say, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. It's a good one. Should love your fellow as yourself. Rabbi Akiva says it's a klal gadol b'toira. To love do you love all Jews? Would you like to one day? Is that a goal of yours? Is that something you're consciously working on? I really want to learn to love every Jew at least. It should be something you should want to do. So, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha is a Greek one. Ben Zoma says, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. That's a big word. Shema Yisrael it's your war cry. It's the last thing you say when you go to bed, unless you say Hamapil afterwards and all other Arizal Dika thing. When you die, it's going to be the last words that leave your mouth in your life. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu. And it's a declaration of dual non-duality. It's a declaration of dual non-duality. That Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. It's all one. There's Hashem and Elokeinu, but Hashem is Echad. Very important one. Ben Azai says, Zeh Sefer Toldat Adam Bayom Bara Elokim Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam on the day that Elokim, God created Adam. B'dimut Elokim asaoto. Hashem made you in His image. That's pretty important. Unbelievably important. Hashem. So far we have love your fellows yourself. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And you are created in the image of God. Shimon ben Pazi. Et הכבש האחד תעשה בבוקר, ואת הכבש השני תעשה בין 40. The Korban Tamid. The first sheep you should bring in the morning. And the second sheep you should bring in the afternoon. So we have love your neighbor as yourself. You are made in God's image. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Bring one sheep in the morning, one sheep in the afternoon. Which one do you vote for? Huh? Love your neighbor's a big one. Does anyone vote for one sheep in the morning, one sheep in the afternoon? Are you messing with Shimon ben Pazi? You think Shimon ben Pazi is crazy?
I don't understand.
If it is even put up there by one of the most enlightened human beings who've ever walked the face of the planet, I wouldn't be laughing at it, boys. You going to laugh at this? I wouldn't be laughing at it. The Korban Tamid, we just said yesterday, what is a Korban? Karov, closeness. The whole purpose of life is closeness to Hashem. That's why you are in this world. Your soul came into this body in order to be God conscious. The Korbanot, as we spoke yesterday, as a way of overcoming our animal nature and connecting to our soul, and therefore having this intimate, personal, palpable, authentic relationship with God, is what brings us to that state. Tamid, always. Always. 2 points here, children. Number 1 point. If you want to grow in any area of life, if you're learning a musical instrument, or if you're learning table tennis, or if you're going to the gym, you have to have consistency. You can't be like, yeah, I just go to the gym for a week and then okay, I fail. There's got to be, and by the way, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. It's not like 7 in this and 4. 1. Just do 1 thing in the morning, 1 thing in the afternoon. Consistency, small goals, grow in a slow and healthy way. Just again and again and again. So you all know the famous story of Rabbi Akiva, 40 years old, hadn't learned any Torah, saw a drip of water on a rock, drip, drip, drip on a rock, and this is what's under the Aron HaKodesh in the Beis Midrash. If you hadn't noticed that, you're wondering why there's a rock under the Aron HaKodesh. What's it doing there? It's telling this story. And the drop fell on the rock, and he saw it. The drip, the little soft drop of water, had made an indentation in the hard rock. How can soft water make indentation in the hard rock? Because it just kept going. And by the way, in the same spot. If it had been moving around, drop, 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 it wouldn't have done it. It was just again, drop, drop, again, again, again. Tefillin in the morning, every morning. Bracha, drop, a little drop, a little drop. Thinking of Hashem, Hashem, I know you're here. It's on the back of my phone. Hashem, I know you're here. How many times a day do you say to yourself, Hashem, I know you're here? None? That's okay. From now on, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Come in. Hashem, I know you're here. Now, what do you think would happen if you said to yourself, 30 times a day, Hashem, I know you're here. Just those words. Hashem, I know you're here. 5 words. What do you think it would happen to yourself after maybe 3 months? You'd actually start walking around feeling that Hashem is actually here. Why is that? Your head knows that Hashem is here. Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. Hashem is infinite in every quark of existence. But you don't feel that Hashem's here. Now you can't teach your heart logically to feel that Hashem is here, because rationality and logic doesn't work for the heart. You just got to train it. Say it over and over again. Hashem, I know you're here. Hashem, I know. And this goes for the good and for the bad, by the way. Many people who have low self-esteem when they're 20 years old is because they've been saying to them consistently, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. People don't like me. Because your dad said to you when you were 6 that you're not good enough. Or you had a perfectionist, whatever it is, or your teacher or your friend. So you just start drilling that message into your heart. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. So that then becomes your experience. So flip that into Hashem, I know you're here. 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 So what is good? What good is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha if you don't even really have this consistent V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha? Without your V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha is very up and down. When I feel like it, when I don't feel like it. Even your Shema Yisrael is up and down. Everything is up. Your Demut Elokim is up and down. If you don't have this basic, underlying, consistent avoda again, I don't know if any of you did martial arts, but when I was training in Korea, I had to do the same block thousands of times, again. And my master would just go sometimes and leave me there and go do it for like half an hour. It's like, why? Why am I doing this? Because basically it's literally like Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. There you go, perfect example. Wax on, wax off. So I want to learn karate. Daniel-san says, I want to learn karate. Mr. Miyagi said, okay, but first you've got to polish all the cars. So he's polishing and he goes, wax on like this, wax off like this. And he does it for hours and hours, and he's like, I'm wasting my time. What am I doing? And then he has to paint the thing. So he's doing all this, wasting his time. It's not wasting his time, because then when Mr. Miyagi throws a punch, he says, wax on. He's got this motion, he's trained himself. So you got this motion of see a Jew, love them. That's what you want. You want to see a Jew, I love them. I love Jews. Straight away. You got to train yourself. Tamid. So that's one meaning of tamid. It's got to be small and consistent. Small, consistent growth. Keep going. Every area of your life. Table tennis. I used to play table tennis. In the Maccabi Games for Great Britain, I played table tennis. We used to play backhands. You practice, I don't know if you've ever seen people warming up table tennis. Just again, just stand there like this. Your arms is like a robot. But then when it comes to the game, you don't have to think to yourself, what do I have to do? Your arm just does it. You're like, I won the gold medal in the American Maccabi Games. The Israelis weren't there. In the Israeli Maccabi Games, the Israelis won gold, silver, and bronze. They didn't come to the Americans once for some reason, so I won the gold. The second meaning of tamid is not just consistency, a little bit of consistency, but it means that is your consciousness. Spirituality isn't just for certain times. When I'm praying, when I'm doing mitzvahs, when I'm meditating, then I'll be spiritual. But when I'm in the gym, or when I'm listening to music, or when I'm going for a walk, or when I'm whatever I'm doing, that's not the time for spirituality. There's the spiritual things I do, then the other thing. Judaism says absolutely not. You should know Hashem in all your ways. Everything you do is part of your spirituality. By the way, that means if it's not, then you shouldn't be doing it. That means it's like, I'm just going to get wasted on Ben Yehuda Street, but I'll do it in a God-conscious way. You can't. It's like you can't eat pig in a God-conscious way. There's some things that it doesn't work. So if you're consistently God-conscious, you're going to avoid situations where you can't. There are situations that can't really be fixed. Unless you're going in there like the disco rabbi to go and pull out the Jews who are stuck in there. But don't pretend. Don't say, I'm doing it to help my brothers, but you're not really. This is a Korbanot tamid, and we say it every day. Now, once again, we said at the beginning, you don't have to do everything I say. I'm just teaching you the ideal. There is a halacha. You're meant to say the Korbanot tamid every day to get this idea into your mind, to be consistent. The other thing that is very, 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 very advisable to say is ketoret. Ketoret is the incense spices that were used in the temple. In the temple. We had special incense that was burned in the temple. 11 different spices. And our sages actually teach us that if someone is sick or Am Yisrael in trouble, we should say Ketores. Now what we do is we say Tehillim. Someone's sick, let's make a Tehillim group for this person who's sick. And that's very wonderful, amazing, powerful. You should do it. But really the Zohar and the other deeper books say, Tehillim's great, we love it, but Ketores is the real deal. Ketores is the most pure of the offerings brought in the temple. So we're going to learn from the Sefer Zohar a little bit here. Got to find the right page. What's the right page? Hashem, please show me the right page. I'm trying to spread your light. Here it is. Amalei Elazar Berei Tachazi. Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon, says, come and see. Kol karbanin v'chol ilavin nachahu dekud shibrichu. All of the korbanot and all of the oila offerings, everything, all of these amazing things that we're doing are very, very sweet and amazing, and Hashem loves them. But none of them are anywhere near the level of Ketores, the incense offering. This is the one that Hashem loves the most. Hashem's very, very, very into Ketores. Now we know personally that smell is the most spiritual of your senses. Smell is the real deal. The word for a smell is a reach, and reach is connected to ruach. It's a level of your soul. The word for breath is neshima. It's connected to the word neshama, which is your soul. It says it's the only sense that was not used in the original sin of Adam and Eve. They saw the tree, they listened to the snake, they touched the tree, and they tasted the food. Apparently they didn't smell it. The sense of smell was not involved in the original sin. The Baal Shem Tov says he was from Adam's nose, whatever that means. Because we were all part of Adam, spiritually. Baal Shem Tov said he came from Adam's nose. So he wasn't affected by the sin. The Ketoris Maila Mikula, because Ketoris is well above everything else. Now, I'll tell you the main reason why Ketoris is above everything else. Because all of the other Korbanot are in response to something. The Korban Chatat is a response to I did something wrong. The Korban Todah is a response to I feel I received something. They're all responding. I did something wrong or I received something, so now I'm going to equal up our relationship. We just said last time there are two really ways to unequal a relationship. One is if you do something bad, so now the relationship is not equal, so you have to do vidui, which is confession. You should got to equalize the relationship. The other is when someone does something good for you. So now it's not equal, so you have to do modeh, the same root, by the way. Vidui and modeh has the same root. So modeh is now I'm equal, thank you. All of the korbanot are coming in response to something. Apart from Ketoris is not in response to something, it's just pure connection. Not responding. I'm not making up the difference in our relationship. There's no imbalance in our relationship. I'm just expressing our intrinsic oneness. That's what Ketoris is doing. We just one. We just one with Hashem. Uvegin kach, and because of this, have a mailin lei legai bagay. And because of this, that is what the Kohen Gadol brought into the Kadosh HaKadoshim on Yom Kippur. There were no goats in there on Yom Kippur. He went in with this incense because that space, the Kadosh HaKadoshim, is the most intimate connection, relationship you could possibly have with Hashem, which just means I'm going straight into my neshama. Dechol pulchana dekut shebrichu hacha it katar ve'it kashe yatir mikula. Because of all the avoda, of all the amazing things we're doing in our spiritual life, do you know what the word ketoret means? Ketoret means a kesher. It says here, it kater ve'it kasher. It means kesher. Do you know what a kesher is? Tying. We're tied together. The ketoret is tying us together. Rabbi Shimon himself says, Kol yamai it kashani, it katani. All of my life I was tied to Hashem. In the bakers, completely tied to Hashem. And therefore it's called Ketoris. And then it brings a pasuk from Mishlei. What's Mishlei? Proverbs? Proverbs. A verse in Proverbs says, Shemen u Ketoris yismach lev. That shemen, oil, and ketoris makes you happy, joyful. Now, it's not a superficial type of joy, it's the joy of connecting to your soul. Now, your soul is intrinsically joyful. Rav Shimshon Pinchas says that simcha is not tnuat nefesh, it's not an emotion. There are lots of different emotions, which is like a movement of your soul. He says simcha is not an emotion, it's the essence. Once you get rid of all the externals, then you tap into your soul is immensely joyful. And simcha really comes from connection to Hashem. That's what simcha comes from. So once you can tap into your soul, you have real simcha, and it's teaching an amazing thing. Hashem says, the greatest avoda there is ketoret, and ketoret creates simcha, which means there's no real avodat Hashem without simcha. No real about if you're putting on your tefillin resentfully, that's better than not putting it on maybe, but it's not avodas Hashem. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha. Bad! If you can't, Korbanot tamid, still do it. Still turn up. Daven mincha b'simcha. But if you can't, go back to the ketoris, the Korbanot tamid. I'm just going to turn up anyway until I can work out how can I tap into my deep inner simcha again.
So like you said, like if you're like you gave a good like wrapping tefillin, if you have resentment, like still do it, it's better than not doing it.
Unless it's going to make you leave Judaism.
Right.
If you're so resentful that you hate God and Judah, then maybe you should give it a break for a while.
But can you also say, like, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, like any like pressure or guilt, like you shouldn't like.
Exactly. So if it's really pressure and guilt and fear is going to turn you off, then better not to do it in your personal growth of your.
But resent is like different, right? Like.
If it's going to turn you away, then it's not worth doing it. because you'll end up not doing it. If it's neutral, you know what, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it, because why not? Then that's okay, I think, because it's very good for you. Your neshama loves tefillin. Whether you do or not, your neshama wakes up in the morning yearning for tefillin. Like, for some people it's like a cup of coffee and a cigarette. I can't function until I have. But for your neshama, it's like, don't talk to me till I put on my tefillin. Don't even talk to me. When there used to be Facebook, or when I was on Facebook, people would write things like, didn't have coffee, don't know what to do. I'm like, get a life, that's what to do, what's wrong with it? Or, run out of Netflix series, help, any suggestions? Get a life, get a life. What, is that a Netflix series? Get a life, put on tefillin. Your neshama loves tefillin. So if you're not loving tefillin, it just means you're not that connected to your neshama, which is okay. Now, by the way, there's no avodas Hashem without simcha, but there's also no simcha without avodas Hashem. There's no simcha without Hashem. It's good. My team won. That's not called simcha. That's called I like it when my team wins. The only true simcha is spiritual simcha. Otherwise, it's not simcha. Yeah.
I'm saying I want to put on tefillin, but I'm not necessarily having a grand time doing it. Like, I'm not so happy that
Okay, so do it. Yeah, it is, and it's a high level in a way, saying I'm doing what I know to be the right thing, and it's called being mature. It's called doing the Korbanot Tamid. But you should then go and talk to me and Rabbi Eid and everyone and say, okay, how can I learn to enjoy it? But don't, just because you're not enjoying it, it's not a reason not to do it. You do it and feel good about yourself for doing the right thing, but then you better work out how to enjoy it, because you're going to do it for the rest of your life. Imagine doing something for the rest of your life you don't enjoy it.
is that considered a avodas Hashem stuff?
Yes, it's a lovely level of, in a way, it's higher. I don't want to say that, but in a way it's higher, because if I love doing it, then I'm just doing it because I love doing it. If I don't love doing it, but I'm doing it because I know Hashem wants me to do it, in a way, that's actually higher. But you've got to get the balance. You still got to enjoy it.
Someone's like, in general, in a bit of a sad, depressed mental state. How does he actually feel into a situation?
To try. To try.
Is it a
There's many things in the Torah. For example, it says you have to love God. You can't bear a grudge. You can't get angry. So I don't love God because this person got sick and there's war. So what does it mean to love God? It means to try to love God. The mitzvah is really to try to love God. To try to be happy. And in general, by the way, I was speaking to someone yesterday, none of you, but it's always the same. I've been in yeshiva now for 1.5 years, and I was so inspired when I first got here, and now I'm not really enjoying my learning. And so I said, well, are you still playing sport? Are you still playing music? Are you still doing art? No, I haven't had time. It's bittul Torah. I have to learn, do chazara. Is it wasting time? No, you're wasting time, you idiot. A sports person needs to be playing sport, and an artist needs to be doing art. The soul needs, I'm not joking, the soul needs healthy creative expression. So it always the same. I knew what was going to happen, and I said to him, "Are you doing?" He said, "I love playing. I'm a sports person." I said, "How much sport do you play?" He goes, "None." I'm like, "That's the answer." No, but surely that's wasting time when I could be learning Torah. You're not learning Torah very well now. Go and play sport. That will help your Torah learning. I'm playing sport in order to be able to pray mincha with kavanah. Music. I just read 2 conversations this week, but it happens every week. Someone needs a musician, hasn't played music for ages. No, because I'm so busy. I've got Seder, night Seder. I say, you miss night Seder at least once a week, and you go and make music. Go and make music. Very important.
So how are we saying that we do Torah now?
Now we do Torah by saying this exactly. Good, thank you. So in the morning Shachris service, we're in the Korbanot section. If you can, no pressure. When you're ready, the truth is, I think most Orthodox Jews aren't saying it. The Korbanot Tamid and Ketoris, very good to say. But with this intention. I'm saying the Korbanot Tamid, firstly because the Gemara teaches that it is therefore as if you brought that Korban, and the Torah is as if you did it. You can't do it now. There's a whole midrash, and Avram's talking to Hashem. When the temple gets destroyed, what are we going to do? And Hashem says, don't worry, saying the words would be as if, I'll count it as if you brought it. So it is that. But for your own personal growth, is to understand that we have this consistency in our avodah, and the Torah is that there's a spiritual side of me that's deeply connected and joyful, and take that into the rest of my day, this joyful, consistent practice. Korbanot Tamid and Ketores is getting you into the zone of, I'm committing myself to joyful, consistent Jewish growth. Fantastic way to start the morning. Ezrat Hashem.